Well, thank you everyone for coming this morning on this fabulous Monday in mid-July. We have some exciting content for y'all and could not be more thrilled. I'm Kate Porcine. If you don't know, I'm the chair of the Sales and Marketing Council, but most importantly, I get to hang out with really cool people like Chris Hartley of KHEV and his partner in crime today, Meredith Chapman. They have developed some great content for you that could not happen without our annual sponsor, Open Door, thank you, as well as our HBA's organizational sponsors, ENT, Ferguson, and Colton Mortgage. Thank you, everyone, for your generosity and support. If you have any questions on what we're doing behind the scenes of the Sales and Marketing Council, please don't hesitate to hop on over to the HBA Denver site /SMC 2022. We'll have the updated, correct, Connie? Updated, new and improved calendar of events. So please stay engaged so you know what's coming for you. And most importantly, this morning, we have two delightful and amazing humans ready to share just really exciting content that is relevant and hot off the presses. So hot that last minute we even changed the title because they were so passionate on what is actually happening in the market globally. So right now, I'm sure you're all feeling very tenuous feelings. There's a lot going on as things are softening. They're going to speak from experience. Chris needs very little introduction, but I will remind you, he is the VP of sales at KHEV in the DFW market and is just a dream. And I know you've all received so much encouragement and insight from his last two sessions, but he wanted to partner with who I just found out is one of his main partners in crime, day in and day out at KHEV, Meredith Chapman, who has over 15 years of experience in new home sales. She's an on-site sales consultant, sales trainer, and an area sales manager, and obviously is also 40 under 40 for Professional Builder magazine. Really excited to hear what these two have for each and every one of us, because I know we just need a little inspiration today. So Chris, Meredith, take it away.
Awesome, thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen real quick. Perfect, can y'all see that? Okay, I got some head nods. Okay, perfect. So I'm excited to be here with you guys today. And as Kate had said, we tweaked the title a little bit. So we actually turned in, I turned in about 9 months ago, the things that I wanted to speak about with you guys over the 4 sessions that we have. And I'm excited for the next one as well. But this one initially was just titled Becoming the CEO of You. And it had a lot of similarities to what I wanted to talk about in regards to this session here. But we actually tweaked it a little bit to talk about the fact that mindset matters, becoming the CEO of you regardless of market conditions. And Meredith and I, we do get to work together every single day. She's very blessed in that way. And as you guys see, she'll probably have something different to say about that. But we do get to work together every single day. And one thing that we've been recognizing is that the mindset shift of our consumers, our realtor partners, our own sales team, our operations team, everybody seems to kind of have gone in a mass panic, when in reality, it doesn't need to. And the one word or couple words that you will not hear out of Meredith and I's mouth this entire time is anything negative in regards to the market, because we don't believe there's anything negative to talk about in the market. We just believe that things are shifting and things are normalizing. And we believe that the best way that you can overcome any of this and to become the best CEO of you is to make sure that your mindset is the strongest that it can be. So we're going to talk about a lot of things today. We're super pumped that you're here. We're excited to be here. And this is Meredith's first time getting to do a webinar with me. She unfortunately has to hang out with me every single day for the last 2.5 years. But I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about her. So this is Meredith. This is her amazing little girl. This here is Ember Monroe, and Ember, for those of you that know, I have a 3.5-year-old and a 6.5-year-old. Ember is 4.5 years old. So the three of them play together like they're the best friends in the entire world. My 3.5-year-old pretty much worships the ground that Ember walks on and thinks she's her best friend, so much so that they have to have like matching everything. But Meredith is an amazing mom to Ember. She is National Sales Consultant of the Year, which is one of the main reasons I wanted to bring her on, is that Meredith was known as being in the most difficult community we had in DFW, possibly the country. And in that year, crushed 80 sales because her mindset was the strongest out of anybody's I know, and won National Salesperson of the Year in that year. She did such a good job that we tricked her into becoming a manager really because we were tired of paying her stupid, ridiculous commission. So we forced her into management, paid her significantly less, and then just hoped that she could teach everybody else how to be as awesome as what she was. She is an area sales manager. That's her title. I am constantly watching my back to make sure that she doesn't stab me, because the job that I have right now is the job that she wants. So when we walk up or downstairs, she's always in front of me. So I'm afraid she's going to push me down and just take over that way. When really she's good enough to just take it. It's just going to take a little bit of time. She did get 40 under 40 for Professional Builder magazine. Thank goodness, because she's almost 40 now. Meredith, I kid. She is in her last year of her mid 30s though. Wait, 37. She's in her first year of her late 30s. She's in her late 30s. I only say that because I'm 41. She is training for her first marathon of all time. She is going to be doing the New York City Marathon on November 6th. Her and I are doing that together. It is her #1 goal to beat me. I'm going to fake an injury, so no matter what happens, if I lose, I have an excuse. So we're just going to put that out there. But she's doing this with a lot of different accountability partners that her and I have. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later as well. One of the coolest things about her, and once you get to know her and you're going to get to understand her personality, because she's a firecracker, she is working on a book right now that is about her life. And her life is pretty crazy. Some people may say it's an SHIT show at times, but she's going to turn it into a movie. And she says that it's going to be featuring Megan Fox, because she oftentimes gets confused for, as some people have put it, a thick Megan Fox. So we'll go ahead and throw that out there. Mm-hmm. And then the last thing, and one of the things that I just absolutely love about this, is that she is going to be a featured speaker for the Professional Women in Residential Construction Conference in San Diego this year, which is a huge honor for her to be able to speak. And she's actually speaking about mindset. And the topic she's speaking on is how you can have the worst year of your life personally while having the best year of your life professionally, which happened to be the year that she sold 80 homes. But personally, her life kind of went another direction, and her mindset just kept her going, which is why she's so important to have here today with us, because no matter what the market is bringing you, she's proof that you can overcome any of that. So with that, I'm going to stop talking for a little bit, because I'm sure she's like, you don't ever stop talking. And we're going to let her talk a little bit about mindset.
Well, thank you. Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. Yeah, thanks for that introduction. I don't know if I'm like that cool, but I guess I try, because since I have to work next to him every single day. I am not going to knife you, Chris. I'll just use my natural given talent and get you somehow out of here so I can move on up. I'm just kidding. Yeah, mindset. I love this topic, because I had to really dig deep in 2018 to 2019, as I was in the worst community possible in terms of, you think of a challenge, this community had it. And let me set you up for what I was selling and where I came from. So I came from, as an on-site sales agent, I was in a beautiful average price point, 700 to 850 gated community, massive 1-stories, all to myself, gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. 47 homes, all on my own. Can you imagine? 2% commissions in Texas we pay our on-site sales agents. I was killing it. Not a challenge to sell a house there. Well, then all of a sudden I was approached, hey, we have another community. It's beautiful, master plan. You're in there with Drees, like another building trade partner. Go take a look. I'm like, awesome. Yeah, this is in 2019, 18 to 19. And I drove out there, and as I'm driving towards it, it is legitimately, and I thought I was in the wrong neighborhood. It is the electrical grid of DFW. And I'm talking skyscraper power lines. And it's not just the line with the wooden pole, it is the grid. It's the like the humming, right? And they're right. So I go, oh, I mean, it's just off to the side, no big deal. Well, as I get closer, it legitimately is in our phase of where, we were already in this community, and they wanted me to come in and sell out the last community. And I had already agreed. Normally I go and drive out to look at them, like, no, maybe pass, and because I was a veteran, and you had to at times like pick and choose. So I get out there and I'm like, wait, surely these aren't our lots. Like, why would we buy these lots? And all of a sudden I pull up and I'm thinking, there's just no way. And sure enough, I pull all the plot plans, and our homes were going to back. Like, that's your backyard, is the grid. The majority of the lots had this Christmas tree massive power line right out your kitchen window, and you would look at it. So what goes through your head, right? Oh God, cancer. Oh, cancer. You can't sell. This is going to be a negative lot premium. Oh my God, no way. Well, it's interesting enough because Dries, the sales partner, my building partner, she used to work for us, and she was one of my really good friends who was going to also be selling in that phase. This was the shift for me. She calls me, she goes, have you driven out to see what we're selling? How are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? And I said, what choice do we have? What choice do we have? We will sell. That's what I'm doing. I'm just going to sell it. I'm going to figure out, but I immersed myself in this. I did all the research on any possible objection, which there were a ton, and it was a super high tax rate. School district was good, but it was an existing community in the last phase. So naturally people are like, oh, we can tell why you're coming in and you're finishing out the community. So the neighborhood had been around for 8 years, and we were coming and finishing it out. Hills, oh God, it was hard. Well, I went ahead and just hit it head on. So I'm a huge believer when it comes to mindset choice, huge believer. You have a choice to either run towards the challenge or run away. And I say you immerse yourself in the challenge. The majority of our on-sites today have no idea what a shifting market. They have no idea how to sell in a shifting market. They think they have success disease. Let's be honest. Like they do. They're like, oh my God, I'm so good. Like, this is great. And they probably are. And it takes a lot for them to wake up and do it. We get it. But are they immersing themselves? Are they hitting this head on and saying, okay, I don't have a choice. Like, I am selling it, but I have a choice to immerse myself, figure out every objection possible and how to overcome it before I even talk about it. So my philosophy was, as soon as someone came in the door and they're interested, because they came in the door. So number one, I'm congratulating them for stepping through my door, not telling them, oh God, like, why are you coming right now? And it's very relatable to today because they're coming in, number one, but their number one fear of not buying is they're afraid to look stupid. Their friends are probably telling them, that is not a good idea. Or their closest family, not a good idea. Shouldn't buy, overpriced, way too much money. That's absolutely not true. We should be their advocates and say, congratulations, one, for coming through my door, two, for wanting to know more about the power of homeownership. So when they would come through my door, I would talk about the elephant in the room. I would talk about, before we go and look, I'm going to go show you this, and you're going to love this. And we're going to talk about the massive Christmas tree of metal in your backyard. And I want to tell you, is that going to be something that's going to hold you back? I have done research. I have done all these things, and you don't have to believe me, but I'm going to send you home with this information. Are you good with that? Yeah, we would love to. Sold the house because I'd rather have a Christmas tree than a neighbor. Even though I'm a nice person, I just would rather have a Christmas tree than neighbor. And it worked because I educated them. I hit it head on, and I made a choice to immerse myself in that, and it was successful. So
I love it. That story there, it's actually legendary at K Hovnanian, and we do a President's Club trip every year where we take the top sales reps in the country and they go on a really, really nice trip. And Meredith that year got National Salesperson of the Year in every possible category, including best storytelling. So she gets awards in a lot of things. But the thing that I love most about this story and why I wanted her to tell that story is that it doesn't matter if it's 2022 and interest rates are climbing to 6% or 7% or who knows where they're going to go. Construction costs are at an all-time high for what we've seen. We've seen challenging markets before. That's why you're going to refuse, or that's why Meredith and I are going to refuse to give this market any sort of a negative connotation, because it's just a shift in the market. It is a normalization in the market. It is the reality of the market. I have been doing this for far too long. Meredith's been doing it for far too long. A lot of us on this call have been doing this for far too long to let this affect us. But there's a lot of people. Meredith and I manage 21 salespeople. Half of them have only been doing this for 4 years or less. They only know one market, so it is terrifying for them. Which brings me to this picture here. A really good friend of Meredith and I's actually has this phenomenal saying, and it's what you focus on grows. And this is a great picture of that, because you can either look at the market today as things are still beautiful. There's still green grass, the trees are lovely, the skies are blue. We were in Colorado, we throw some mountains back there. Or you can look at this as the desert. You can look at this as barren land. You can look at this as not having any sort of a future. You can look at the tree as not having any leaves. Well, which way are you going to look at the market in which we are in today? Are you going to look at it and say, things are still great? There's still phenomenal opportunities. Let's not forget the why behind why somebody is buying. They're in your office to make their life better. Or you can focus on the fact that, oh my gosh, interest rates, the Fed is going to meet tomorrow. They're going to do another point rate hike. I wonder what the interest rates are going to go. How am I ever going to make any money? How am I going to pay my bills, feed my family, whatever it is? You know what? If I was selling today, I would be psychoanalyzing my competition and telling them that they should focus on all the negative while I focus on all the positive. Because those of us that have been in this market and in this industry forever, we've sold homes at 14%, 15%, 16%. We've sold homes at rising costs. It doesn't matter. It's what you focus on will grow. If you focus on the positivity, which Meredith did, she looked at this and she said, you know what? We're just going to sell it because what choice do we have? I mean, what a simple answer to the best possible case scenario, right? She is being put in this community. She either sells or she doesn't. We show up to work every day. We either put everything into our work day or we don't. Yes, we have bad days. That's okay. But it is our mission to ensure that we don't waste any day. Kate had asked Meredith and I, hey, how's it going in Dallas? We're very blessed to be in Texas because our market is still very strong, but we still have a lot of challenges. It's not all rainbows and butterflies and sunshine here. Now it's going to be 108 tomorrow, which is just stupid hot for us. But things for the most part are still really good. And they're good because we are focusing on them being good. Our team has not missed a sales number for a week. We have not missed it for a month. And we are the only division out of 15 divisions in our company that have been able to do that. And people say, oh, you're just lucky because you're in Texas. No, what we focus on is growing. We have a Houston division that is selling less than half than what we are. They're in Texas too. Their market is extremely strong, second strongest in the country. But they're not focusing on the growth. They're focusing on the sadness. If you want to be a true CEO of your life, you're going to focus on the positives and you're going to ignore the negatives. That doesn't mean that the negatives don't exist. Okay. We don't have our heads up our rear ends. We know that there are bad things going on in the world. We know that there are shifts in the marketplace, but we choose to focus on the positive and not the negative. That's the best way that you're going to be the top CEO of your own life. And that's the way that Meredith got to become the National Salesperson of the Year. Mer?
Besides, of course, media and, your own critic, we all have that critic in our head. We have the media, we have our closest family and friends, we have fellow coworkers who are just negative, right? But you also have another person, yourself, right? So one of the things I've done the last 2 years and I'm still doing, I think it's so important. I have shrunk my circle, right, of influence. It sounds so mean when I say it out loud, but I have truly had to shrink my circle of influence to be able to surround myself with like-minded, goal-oriented friends, and of course can't choose our family, but naturally family, because I naturally immerse myself on my family, to show them, to show the direction I'm going and to educate them on where my vision looks like, where my mindset is. And I'm keeping those people who also are like that. it's not much different. We just talked about this, but it's not much different than those people that are coming through the models today. They also are surrounded by their negative friends, family, who, quite frankly, I truly believe, I asked Chris, I was like, they're just uneducated. Can I say that? They're just uneducated. And it's not mean that they don't have a degree and they didn't go to college or Ivy League school. They're uneducated to what truly is happening. It's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. I mean, yes, I'm young. I'm not almost 40, but I am in my late 30s. And my first house that I bought was a 5.25% interest rate. That is amazing. Amazing. And people, when I tell people that, prospects walking, because even though I'm not physically selling, I'm still selling every day because I watch my team. And I go in, and when I tell people that my first house was 5.25% interest rate, they're like, how old are you? And I'm like, yes, I know. But really, I mean, that's not a negative. That was amazing. And it truly, if you're allowing, congratulate them, tell them, I'm glad that don't get rid of your friends and your family, but why don't you educate them? And I would tell people, I'm just here to educate you. I want your business. I don't need your business, but I want you just to at least know that the power of homeownership can be yours, and it may not be, but I'm here to educate you and to tell you what's going on in the market and not fall victim to the media. And shrinking your circle, and what I've done to do that and continue to do every day, has tremendously helped me. They add value and they remind me, keep me accountable.
Now, what's so great about that, and we're gonna talk about the fact that she has shrunk her sphere of influence, and we're gonna talk about that in detail here in a bit. But what's interesting about this is that negativity isn't new to the market just today. We've actually been seeing negativity for as long as the media has been around. Now, I spent 2008, 9, and 10 in one of the hardest hit places in the United States during the Great Recession, which was Phoenix, Arizona. And I had actually made more money selling homes, and I was a selling sales manager because back then I had to take a step down from a VP of sales to being transferred to Phoenix, Arizona as a selling sales manager. So I was managing and selling just so I could still have a job in reality. But I was in a very hard hit spot. And I had the mindset that anybody walking through my door was going to buy a home. I was making more money in the recession than I had ever made. And I believe I talked about it earlier. I was next to a gentleman, his name was Matt. I'm not going to tell you what company he worked for. And I loved being next to Matt. And the way that the model park worked is they always went to Matt first, then they came to me. And I knew that Matt was just talking about how the world was going to end and interest rates were ridiculous. And oh, by the way, we have this clause in our contract that says if the prices go down 2 weeks before closing, we'll match your price. So don't worry about the price. The guy wasn't a salesperson. He wasn't understanding the mission and the value. So what I did as a salesperson, this was when we still stuffed packets with paper. And I don't know if you guys still are or not. And if you are, I'm not talking bad, but we had a lot of paper back then, right? And so inside of my packets, I used to put this 1-page sheet in there that would talk about famous quotes from the past about housing. And I want to share those with you. Meredith and I think we have 4 or 5 of these quotes. And this one is hilarious. So this was Time Magazine, 1947. The prices of houses seem to have reached a plateau, and there's reasonable expectancy that prices will decline. 1947. I'm pretty sure any house built in 1947 is worth more today than it was then. Mare?
I love this one. Houses cost too much for the mass market. Today's average price is out of reach for 2/3 of all buyers. The average price, 1948, the average price at the time, $8,000. I mean, that's hysterical because that's probably the majority of y'all. That's less than y'all's earnest money.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I don't even know if we have an earnest deposit. Texas that's as low as 8,000.
Right.
This one here, the goal of owning a home. So this one's a little bit more frequent, 1969. So 21 years past the last one. The goal of owning a home seems to be getting out of the reach of more and more Americans. The price of a home at that time was $28,000. Now, I've been to Denver a bazillion times. I'm pretty sure there's not a lumber pack in Denver that costs $28,000. I'm sure everything is way more than that.
Oh man, the era of easy profits in real estate may be drawing to a close. Money Magazine, 1981. Well, I wasn't even born in 1981, but I will tell you, please, even if I was, if I was born in 1981, I would have been the female Brian Chesky, who's the CEO of Airbnb. I would have bought 10, 20, 40 in that year for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. This one here, the second to last one here. If you're looking to buy, be careful. Rising home values are not a sure thing anymore. 1985. Yes, I got a type error in that. It's my fault. Rising home values are not a sure thing anymore. Again, so this was actually the year after Meredith was born, so we'll give her that. Can you imagine owning a home in 1985 and seeing what it's worth today? Especially in Miami. Absolutely crazy. Last one here.
Financial planners agree that houses will continue to be a poor investment. Kipler's Personal Financial Magazine, 1993. It's really interesting whenever I read that, we were talking about it the other day, how just recently, I don't know if y'all follow him, but our financial guru of our time right now, Dave Ramsey, just recently came out and said that now is the exact right time to buy a home because prices aren't going to get any lower. So it's just fascinating to read that. And then our man said now is, which is crazy.
If you the part that she's talking about, if you've seen Dave Ramsey on TikTok, I love TikTok, by the way.
That's why I didn't say that. I mean, who does that?
YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it may be, you can go on there and you can see Dave Ramsey talk about the fact that now is the perfect time to buy. And he's going to go through that. It's about a 13-minute segment of a video. And many of our salespeople have it on loop inside of their sales offices. And that's something that I would encourage you to find that information. I mean, the man who pretty much will just insult you if you have any sort of debt is telling you that now is a great time to buy a home. We need to educate those because I don't know if there's a lot more intelligent people than Dave Ramsey. I know I'm not as intelligent as Dave Ramsey. So if he tells me to buy a house, I'm definitely going to be buying a house. So earlier, Meredith stated that she had shrunk down her sphere of influence tremendously, right? She had taken a ton of friends and I give Meredith a hard time, but she's one of my favorite people in the world, probably because we hold each other accountable to all things in life. But when she was shrinking down her sphere of influence, I actually knew her. We've known each other about 2.5 years. I was really hoping she didn't cut me out of that sphere, so I'm glad I'm still in it. But when she did that, I had asked the question, how did you figure out the 4 people that you were knocking your group down to? Or how did you figure out who you were knocking your group down to? And she said, well, I really focused on 4 different types of people that I wanted in my life because I recognized, or she said she recognized the fact that not all of those people were filling her bucket. They were not causing positivity in her life. So she came up with, and we put it in this PowerPoint presentation here, 4 different types of people you want in your life. The first one here is a coach. Now, for Meredith, she has a fitness coach that comes to her house several days a week. When I was competing in the Ironman, I had an Ironman coach. Many of us have financial coaches. Dave Ramsey could be seen as a financial coach. We have certified financial planners, whatever it may be. But a coach is somebody that you should always have in your life. It could be a life coach, personal coach, you name it. If it's something that you are not an expert in or something that you want to be an expert in, hire a coach, find a coach. And oftentimes you don't need to pay these people, but they're great people to have on your staff.
This is a big one for me. Friends, I am very social. I was in a sorority. I have a big family. I love people. I truly do. I love people. I needed that person. And it doesn't have to be one person. It doesn't have to be 10 people. I just needed that person. I mean, it's really simple. It's very simple. I needed to find the people that were going to have the same goals. I talked about this earlier, the same goals, like-minded. And I'm not saying same, like they have the same career as me, meaning, but they're on the path of betterment. They're on the path of growth I want to be better than I was the day before. And it could be in all aspects, personal. And I had to really utilize this personally. My marriage was completely falling apart and I now had a baby and I was okay not having a child. I was okay with that, and I realized that I was immersing myself with so much outside noise and comparison that it wasn't helping my mindset. It wasn't helping anything, my growth, to be whole and just to be better. And I'm not saying I'm 100 every day, but it's the critic in my head and it's the outside critics that I had to make sure I silenced. And I still do to this day. I realize that having 100 acquaintances, like I used to joke about this, and we used to do this with my girlfriends. How many Facebook friends do you have? I mean, come on, like that is, I don't want a lot of Facebook friends. I don't want a lot of Instagram followers. I don't want that. And I knew when having 100 acquaintances or having people that I called my friend was not pouring into me. It brought no substance, no value. They couldn't keep me accountable. So I had to audit. I had to do an audit, and I had to shrink my circle for that. And having friends, and even it could be a family cousin that keep you accountable, is key. It's a game changer. And still being positive, of course, but I realized that having quality people versus quantity was huge game changer for me. And it is the same. It could be the same for you.
And one of the things that's great when we talked about the sphere of influence for her, and this was something that I believe you started this back in January, Mare, and you've really taken it by the grip here, and it's something I need to do. You've taught me how to do it. I've never done it. Is if you're looking to be the CEO of your own life, what do CEOs have? They have a board of directors.
Yeah.
Right? Every CEO has a board of directors. And Meredith decided that she was going to scale her sphere down by creating a board of directors. Mare, who's on your board of directors? Tell people what your board of directors actually is.
So I'm the CEO of my life. I have a director of my career. I have a director of my health. I have a director of my personal growth. And I have a director of my love, family and friends. And here's the thing, I pour myself into all of those. And those are those people who keep me accountable. They keep me accountable and they remind me. And I legit have board meetings because, and at first, I will tell you, the first few, it was awkward, right? But I explained to them, this is what I need from you. And this is why I need this from you, because this is what I admire about you. And that's what they brought to my life. And to tell you, there were tears because these people didn't realize that they played such an influence in my life. And from here on, I'm the closest I've ever been with these people. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful because I truly, doing things like this, I've used things that they've taught me, I can use to help raise my daughter by myself and with friends and be present with friends. And it works. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
So one of the people that she has on her board of directors is our president. We are very blessed to have a truly just amazing man that both Meredith and I just love to death. And he's been in this industry for nearly 30 years and it's very rare to have a president of a home building division pour into their people as much as they do. This is the 5th company I worked for. Meredith says that's way too many. I have a disagreement with that, but that's a whole nother topic. But he pours into us and he will actually say, and I'll hear him, hey, Mare, when is our next board of director meeting? Because there's some things I want to talk to you about. Her director of health is her personal fitness coach. He's the gentleman that has that 13-year-old that she was talking about. And what's amazing about that is that his name is Eddie. I've used Eddie as well because Eddie he's a beast of a human in regards to his physicalness, but he's an Ironman and he would help me. He would push me to show up and ride those 4-hour bike rides on the weekend. And what she's gotten out of that, because she engaged in a relationship and said, Eddie, will you be my director of health? But he's also raising a 13-year-old daughter. You know, we were joking earlier that I got a 3-year-old, a 6-year-old, Mare's got a 4-year-old. I mean, as Kate put it, we're in the sweet stages of our little girls. Like our little girls are sweet. There's going to be a time where they're going to be a complete disaster and a nightmare, right? Like it haunts me. Like I'll have dreams about the stuff. I mean, we were joking that my little girls are going to wear one-piece swimsuits until they're 30. It's just going to happen. But he has a 13-year-old. He's living it today, right? So he can give us this advice. think about it. And if you're going to get something out of this, if you want to be the best CEO of yourself, you need to have a board of directors. Now, a lot of us work for very large companies, and we're lucky here at K. Hovnanian that Ara Hovnanian, it's still family owned. We know him personally. It is a personal test. Kate owns her own company, right? The people that work for Kate love Kate because they believe in Kate. Kate has a responsibility to push down, right? If you want to be the best CEO that you can be, you're not going to get there by yourself. You're not. It is impossible to become who you are by yourself. One, it's not going to be any fun. Who wants to live life and not have any friends, right? But who wants to live life and not be surrounded by people that are going to push you to become better versions of yourself? So you need a mentor. That's what that third person is a mentor. A mentor and a coach can be the same person. More than likely, they're going to be a different person, right? They don't have to be the same person. They're more than likely to be different, but they can be. So I challenge you, write down who your board of directors is. If you get one thing out of this, give yourself a board of directors. Call them. And I heard her do this. That's what's amazing is that Meredith helped start a charity in 2008. It's a foster care organization. And one of the people that's in charge of her love and her relationships and friendships is Susan Ramirez, who is the CEO of the National Angels. It's one of the largest foster care community networks in the whole world now. And she had reached out to her, and I was there when she had called her, and Susan was in tears because she was so happy that Meredith looked so highly upon her. Now, as humans, we love to help people. We love to help people. We hate asking for help. I don't know why we do, but we do. Like, especially guys. Like, we are the most hard-headed people in the entire world because we think we know everything. It's okay to let your guard down. It's okay. Meredith and I have the relationship say, you know what? I'm struggling today. I'm struggling today and I need your help, or I just need you to leave me alone. She was joking the other day. She'll send me a text message, and I like to think I'm pretty funny, but sometimes she's like, hey, I'm having one of those days that I can't handle your sarcasm and your jokes today. So if you can just leave it alone, leave it alone. That's okay, because if you surround yourself with those that are going to hold you accountable and you hold them accountable, you can have that awesome candor amongst them and make yourself better. Surround yourself with the board of directors. It's Mary, tell us what they are again.
The director of career, director of personal growth, director of health, fitness, we can say, I like to just say health, and then director of love, family, and friends. I just say director of love because where I really love is my family, friends, and you can loop them, you can call, and you can add more. I mean, if you want 5, you can do that. It could be this, you really want to try not to have it be this one person. That was really hard for me because Susan is my love and my personal growth, but I can't do that. I don't want to put that much on her, right? So I had to really dial in on all these people, and it was going to be easy for me just to pick 2 because I have just 2 amazing humans. And yes, Chris is not on my direct board of directors. So, but it doesn't,
I was a little hurt by that.
I don't admire, doesn't mean I don't admire him. That he's a mentor to me, but it is in a completely different way. And it is more about you recognizing, and there's nothing sexier than telling somebody or asking for help, whether it be male or female. There's nothing sexier than that, because that means you are self-aware. And we have this saying, the most successful people are the most self-aware. And that's awesome. So.
Okay, our next one here, Mary, you want to take our last type of a person we want in our life?
This is my favorite. This is my director of my love, family, and friends, because this is near and dear to my heart. You need a cheerleader. You need a cheerleader. I have a nickname that was given to me by my mother, and she calls me the cheerleader with a pitchfork. Now it seems very negative. It does, but it's funny. I would take offense to that sometimes and she started doing this when I was younger. I mean, I was teeny bopper age, right? That we keep talking about, 13. And she would tell me, she's like, you're a cheerleader with a pitchfork. So let me tell you why. I've always wanted to be, I have a lot of energy. My energy has kind of succumbed as I've gotten older, but I will tell you, I have a lot of energy and I'm very passionate. I speak with my hands, all these things. So I always wanted to be a cheerleader, always. And I was like, there's no way. I tried out all the time. Every year I was going to be a cheerleader. I wanted to wear the car wash skirts. I wanted to wear the high pony with the makeup and do the flips and herkies and all the things, right? Well, I tried out for years and I never made it, but I kept going. I'm like, I'm going to try out because they're going to see my energy. They're going to see how just my energy, because I was not flexible. I was not limber. I couldn't jump to save my life. But it's funny because all of my best friends, part of my inner circle are all cheerleaders. So I decided that I'm just going to make the people I surround myself are actual cheerleaders. My best friend to this day, she works for varsity cheer. She high up for them. So what I did is I decided I'm going to be the cheerleader for the cheerleaders. I'm going to be the cheerleader that holds people accountable. And in a velvet hammer type way, right? Like pom-poms, you got it. But how are you going to get there? Tell me this. How are you going to do it? What have you thought about this? It's the cheerleader I'm the cheerleader that keeps you accountable. Find a cheerleader that has a pitchfork and it's a poker. It's a, hey, I'm here. Don't forget. So my mom dubbed me that because she noticed that I was on the sidelines, not upset that I never made it. Just, man, that herky looked not that good. We need to practice on that next week, right? But it helps when you have an actual accountability partner who reminds you of, I am that for Chris. I am legit the cheerleader with a pitchfork. I'm so proud. He does all these awesome side hustles. It's amazing. But don't forget, you just last week told me this. So, oh God, I hate it when you're right. Oh my God, and I just remind him. So find that cheerleader with a pitchfork. And I'm taken, so I'm kidding.
So it is the 4 people you need in your life. And so we say you're searching out those 4 people, but you also want to be one of those things for somebody else, right? Yeah. You just don't want your relationships to all be one-sided. You want to have that for other people as well. So as we come to an end here, we have roughly 15 minutes. We were talking about this in what we really call this, and Mayor coined the term the high 5. And it's the 5 steps you need to take to become the CEO of your own life. And I had to give Meredith credit for that because I don't know if you understood earlier, she pretty much said I was non-existent until I knew her. So if I don't give her credit for actually coining the high 5, I'm going to hear about it the rest of the day. So we're just going to go ahead and give that to her now. Meredith, go ahead and give us number 1.
Step 1, take full responsibility for your life and circumstances. Yeah, this hits home with me because there's not one person on this screen that has never fallen to that victim mindset. I am your prime example of that. I, failed marriage, doing this on my own. I sacrificed every day to live the life for you. We have a great life. And I did. I felt for years. I was that. I was just coasting, right? But the key is how I had to realize how do you get yourself out of that? That is what I love to know. What do you do to get yourself out of that victim mindset mentality? You were blaming everyone for your unhappiness, but instead of pointing fingers at everyone, turn the finger to yourself. Yeah, you may think that you were this awesome salesperson, or you were this awesome leader, or this awesome husband or wife. But at the end of the day, we can always do better, right? There is no handbook to being awesome. And awards and awesome, woo woo, rah rah. That's all great. But the root of my happiness, why would I not be the happiest when I just got number 1 sales consultant in the entire country? I mean, there is a video. This is what triggered that I needed to turn the finger inward. There was a video of me winning this award by my counterpart got this video, my reaction when they said my name. I had no idea that I was winning this. Who doesn't know that they're sold the most homes in the country? I will tell you, somebody who was disengaged, but yet had a job to do. That was me. I had no idea. When I knew I had to turn the finger and point it to myself, is when I saw my reaction. And I should have been more excited, but I wasn't. but I knew I had to change my trajectory. I knew I had to find the root of my unhappiness. I mean, I was making so much money. Naturally, you think money fixes everything. It just makes, what it does, make it easier. It makes it easy, it makes life easier. More money, more problems. Like that is what happened. And I had to ask myself tough questions. So you have to ask yourself tough questions. How did I get here? How am I going to get out of it? What is the root of the cause of this unhappiness? And if you're and write it down. I had to write it down, and I had to talk to myself in the car of, it leads back to choice. I had to make a choice every day. You know what? It's going to cause me financial burden. It's going to cause me a lot of tears. It's going to cause confusion. It's going to cause life-altering decision, a life-altering for my daughter, for myself. But I figured out the root. I had to do it because I needed to get happy so I could be better for my daughter, myself, and for K Hovnanian. I had to do it.
It leads to the next one here, and she kind of fed into this. Is step number 2: ask yourself some powerful questions and outline a plan of action. So the 2 powerful questions we want you to ask yourself is, what do you truly want? Which is a question that she pointed the finger back at herself, said, what do I truly want out of life? And the second one, how do I need to change? It's amazing when you stop blaming everybody else for where you are and start looking at yourself as to how you can get there. Because what's truly amazing is that all of us have the ability to be the best version of ourselves. We all do. Sometimes we need to take a step back and take a break from some things, from some people. Meredith and I are part of a group. It's called the Betterment Circle. I'm actually taking a pause on the Betterment Circle right now because I need to realign myself to become better. I'm taking a pause because I need to point the finger at myself and realize that there's some things that need to be changed with me before I start pouring into others. And I think I joked, this was probably been the first time we talked, that when I finished the Iron Man, I got the Iron Man tattoo. And I made Meredith go with me because I was afraid of the needle. But I made her go with me, and I wanted to get a tattoo on my arm that said, live your truth. And she said something really amazing to me. She goes, how about before you get that tattoo, you find your truth first? I thought I had found my truth, but the question is that somebody who I look up to and I admire, even though she's barely younger than me, that I look up to and admire, says, hey, you're nowhere near living your truth. You have to find your truth first. And that took me actually sitting down and writing down, what do I want out of life? I know my children's book is going to come out in the next few months. I want to write a children's book. I know that I have all of these fitness plans and goals that I want to accomplish and do. I know that I need to be a better dad to my 2 daughters. I know that since I only have them 50% of the time, that I need to be all in on those 50% of the time. I knew that I needed to change in so many ways. It was very difficult for me to lead a team of 21 amazing people and to do all of these podcasts and speaking opportunities, all these things, when my closest friend in the world, her, says, you're not even living your own truth. So I still do not have that tattoo. Mary's going to tell me when I earn that tattoo and I'll make her go with me. But someday it is my goal as the CEO of myself to get that tattoo. And I look forward to someday seeing you guys and showing you. Then I can tell you some of the nasty, dirty, awful things in my life that I needed to get through to truly live my truth, because we all have them. Number 3.
Yeah. Step 3, create a vision board. You know, I was a person that I did not believe in this because, one, it takes time. You have to sit and I have to cut. Like, I wasn't that girl in high school or college that did the teeny bopper magazine and like put it on. Like, I want to be this chick, right? Or it wasn't that. I thought, and I didn't think it was dumb. I didn't put the effort into it. Well, what it is, it's visual learning. So when someone puts it to me like that, I'm like, oh, I'm visual. I need me. So we did this actually with our sales team, and we have a massive board, right? And we made them all print out 3 things, like why you do this job every day, print out the why, print out your why, print out where your goal, why do you work, the why of why you do this, the other why of why do you want to do this, what are your goals, do you want to go on a trip, do you want to buy something, what's a major thing that you want out of this, and bring those with you to it. And then of course put a timeline of, you actually physically have to narrow it down and say, I want to do this by X, right? And we did that for him because we had that year timeline, right? This for that year. They loved it. And it was a bit, and what we just did is we created our own cheerleaders. That's what we did. We literally, so now we get the team emails. Hi guys, and they feel, they don't feel like they're bragging. They don't feel, they're celebrating their wins because they email, I just went, I bought my camper and I am going on a road trip with my family in our camper. And I'm so grateful. Just last night, one of my sales consultants on my team transferred here from Virginia. I love this because I love this human, and transferred here from Quahog, Virginia, transferred to Texas, moved his family. Now, PS, one of his kids is in the middle of high school. My parents moved me in the middle of high school and I never forgave them for like 20 years. So PS, side note, don't ever move your kids in the middle of high school, because just let them live with a friend. Let them live with a friend and have them come, because it will change them. And it changed me. I was very angry that they moved me from Texas to just outside of Boston. Who does that? So, well, my parents do, but now I'm grateful and I realize why. However, he moved here, transferred here, has done very well, very well. His mindset is in the right place. He came from construction to sales, and he just bought a house. He's been renting here. He's been here now almost 2 years. He just contracted on a home. And in his email to us last night, it was a $700,000 home. $700,000 with
in
a
Texas,
pool.
that's a lot, by the way.
That's a lot. I mean, in the area, this is an established area. The house is older, but it's a lot of money, and it's in a good area, but it's an older area existing. And he said in an email to Chris and I, it's because of y'all. It's not because of us. It's because of, we just were the cheerleader. He did it all on his own. But I love that he shared that with the team, that he was so excited because that's what he wanted. So we created this cheerleader type mindset and visual. And so when you visual learning, you can physically see it. It is like already you're showing yourself what you're going to do. I mean, that's fire. That's a fire way of already telling you, your wife, your husband, your kids, what's about to happen, or even the person, your team. Have your team do it. Show them, hey, listen, this is what I'm going to do. What about you? This is how we're going to get there. So.
Okay, this is what happens when you put two storytellers on the same place. We got 4 minutes, Mary. We're not going to keep them over. We got 4 minutes. We only got 3 more slides.
This is easy. This is easy one. Determine what you need to step forward. Determine what you need to start saying yes and no to. I love this one because we all live very busy lives. Okay, very busy. We're all maybe parents, maybe not. We're going to work when we're in the real estate. It's just busy in general. One thing that you have to ask yourself is it, you know what? I'm just going to tell you this. I am giving you permission to say no. It is okay to say no to things, events, happy hours, fitness things, a family event. It is okay to say no if it is not bringing you value, if it's not serving you, if it's not serving you on your growth, on the version that you're trying to be each and every day, you can say no. On the flip side, make sure you're not saying no too often and not maximizing and living your life to the fullest. Are you saying no too much and missing opportunities to say yes to things that would serve you, or trying new things? Don't give the no the power. Give the yes the power, but make sure it's serving you to your day in and day out. We have a joke. It's called the F yes moments and the F no moments. And you can choose. It's very simple. It all goes back to choice.
Love it. Love it. Mara says I do a lot of F no moments and I need to control my life a little bit better. So that one's a positive.
Yeah.
Step number 5, second to last slide here, as we got 2 minutes left, is share your plans with people who will support you. There is no sense in wasting your time sharing the best version of your life with people that are not going to cheer you on the entire way. We've all heard about those people that are always going to say, oh, are you sure you want to do that? Is that the smartest thing you want to do? Get rid of those people. Those people are not part of your board of directors. They're not going to help you become the CEO of you. You need to find accountability groups. And Mara and I are part of an accountability group together called the Betterment Circle. But you need to find accountability groups. Create it with your best friends. Create it with your board of directors, people at your work, whatever it may be. But you need to find those that are going to cheer you on and support you. The 4 people in your life, those are the 4 people that you need to share your life with. And the very last slide that we have here, and we're so excited that we got to share this morning with you guys, is that the best way to predict the future is to create it. There are going to be people that are going to be wildly successful in this new norm of our housing industry, in the shift of the housing industry. Meredith said it earlier, the most successful people in life are the most self-aware people in life. So the more self-aware you are with your attitude and your mindset and who you surround yourself with, the more successful you are going to be. And that's all we have for you this morning. So we were super excited to be here, excited to share our day with you. And Kate, we'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you guys so much. I know we are out of time and everybody is super busy. I just want to circle back on 2 key things that I hope you all took away. I was personally kind of challenged and kicked in the butt, so thank you both. 1, controlling your sphere of influence. I just think that we all can, we're all doers, we're achievers, we're hustlers, we're grinders. And so we all know the dead weight in our life if we take a minute and pause and go, what is not serving us? So I think that is a really good reminder. And secondarily, I think that vision board, y'all, we're halfway through July. We are now in the second half of 2022. So how are we going to end this year? So thank you both so much for your investment of enthusiasm, wisdom, time, just to remind us of why we're doing what we're doing and help us to achieve our goals. So I hope everybody on this call has a wonderful week. Connie, anything else I'm not admitting? Perfect. Hope you have a great week. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.